This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the B Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at bpodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply. I'm Danielle Nuhfer, an educator for over 20 years who went up against 2 bouts of serious teacher burnout before finally realizing that I needed to share what worked and what didn't with educators everywhere. This is when Teaching Well was born. At Teaching Well, I partner with schools who recognize that when they prioritize teacher well-being, true teaching and learning can happen. And there's nothing more integral to building this kind of school culture than finding ways to care for yourself in the midst of all the school day hustle and bustle. Building in these moments is what this show is all about and what I hope to bring to you each time I get the opportunity to speak with you here. So with that, let's begin. Today's morning motivation is considering what we can learn about our own teacher well-being from an unlikely source: strawberries. One thing that I've come to believe is that nature knows what we should do if we only pay attention. Nature can serve as a guide for how to build systems of efficiency. Specifically, I have really been thinking a lot about how studying nature can inform how we approach our educational system as a whole, and even our individual classroom and teacher ecosystems. And here's what I know. When we begin to apply these natural principles to our teaching life, and essentially our whole life, we actually begin teaching well. So with that, let's begin. 'Tis the season for strawberries, at least in Eastern PA where I'm located. What I've noticed in our backyard is that some of the strawberries are good and some of them are hard and rot quickly. Also, some of our strawberry patches seem to have fizzled out much more quickly than others. So I was sitting here thinking about why that may be, and I did a little research. So here are some of the top strawberry rules. Number 1, they grow best in direct sun. Number 2, they need space for their runners to spread and produce more opportunities for flowers and fruit. Number 3, they need sandy soil and about 1 inch of water per week for the growing season. And number 4, they shouldn't be planted where peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, and potatoes have been grown because of disease. So I thought, the first 3 we have done, but the last one, that is something I know we haven't paid attention to. I know that we have strawberry plants around our tomato and pepper plants. Could that be why they have fizzled? Could that be why they're getting mushy? Could that be why they aren't as abundant as the others? The thing is, our strawberry crop has always been quote unquote good enough and produced enough to keep us happy. But what if just changing that one thing could make them more prevalent, happier, better than before, and allow them to actually flourish? Until I looked it up, I hadn't known that very important guideline. Obviously, the strawberries weren't so hindered that they didn't produce anything. But what if just relocating the beds or relocating the tomatoes and peppers could produce a more abundant crop? And now with 2 little ones, the more strawberries that can be picked, the better. So how can this all inform our health and well-being as teachers? Well, maybe you're feeling good enough. Maybe you have performed good enough. Maybe your school years are good enough. But are you flourishing? Are you doing most of the things to support yourself? But is there one thing that could make a difference? Is there one thing that could create a ripple effect into the rest of your life? For the strawberries, I can move the plants and hope for a better crop next year. But for you, you have the opportunity right now to test out some things that could make a profound difference, and you will be able to see these fruits of your labor, far sooner than a strawberry crop. So list out the things that you know are your ideal conditions and needs for health and well-being. What are they? Are all of them optimal right now? What could be moved and changed? What is going well? You don't have to change everything. And scientifically speaking, you don't want to, or you'll never know what's really working. But for me, I'm going to make a small change to our strawberry plants and hope that we get a better crop. What can you change, modify, increase, or continue to support your optimal well-being? Whatever that is, I urge you to take the time to make the modifications you need to live the life you want. Keep this motivation close to your heart today. May you observe what's working in nature and then observe yourself. Know that the answer can always reveal itself if you pause and pay attention. If this morning's motivation resonated with you, I'd love to connect more. You can find all the different ways we can partner together at teachingwell.life. Thanks for listening. In whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bepodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.